Hey guys, I'm gonna try to keep this shorter than my last video. It's really late, so if I don't make a whole lot of sense, I apologize now. I have been trying to figure out to the best way that I can how to reach you guys, how to get information out to you guys, how to organize this in a way that is consistent and makes sense and is organized and you can find what you need to really easily. What I am sharing with you today and how I've decided to do this is really the best version of what I could come up with. If you have any other ideas or if you have things that you're not liking or things that aren't working for you, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Like I said, and like Mr. Gosh has said, and the news, and I mean, it's been everywhere, is this is brand new for all of us, for you guys and for me. And honestly, I have no clue what I'm doing. I did not go into teaching and take a class about how to do remote learning. And so we're going to do the best that we can. I am excited, honestly, to get going with things that are related to school and get a routine in and, feel like we're accomplishing some things so that you guys have some things hopefully mastered before you move on, whether that's out of high school or moving on to next grade level. So, that being said, I just kind of wanted to do this as a way to introduce you to some of the main items because I know a lot of you guys won't be able to get into the Google Hangout tomorrow, which is totally fine. So I guess just a couple things. I'm still getting a lot of messages from you guys asking, so does this mean school is closed for good? So does this mean that the closure has been extended? Again, I mean, it's now currently 12:38 in the morning, um, the night before we start remote learning, and nothing with dates has changed yet. So we will let you know as soon as it does. I'm sure you'll see it probably on the news even before we can get the information out to you. But I promise you, nothing has changed yet. That doesn't mean it won't. It just means it hasn't yet. And that doesn't necessarily mean it will, but it also doesn't mean it won't. So we're going to do the best that we can, knowing what we have to do, which is at this point returning on April 8th, which is next week, Wednesday. So we really don't have a whole lot of remote learning days, honestly, if that's when we do end up going back. So hopefully this will all make sense. So when you go in every week, how I'm going to do things, and I know the way that I'm doing things might be different than the way other teachers are, but I am giving you a rundown of how I am going to do things. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to front load all of the information that you need for the entire week so that you don't have to continuously get in throughout the week and be checking for new days. So on Tuesday, I will give you everything you would need for the entire week. And another side note, and this is not particular to my class, this is everybody, is we will never, from here on out, we will never have any sort of remote learning assignments. In essence, you don't have school on Mondays. And what I mean by that is if they were to extend the closure and we went into more weeks of this, every Monday you will be a day for teachers to get together. We'll have staff meetings on those days. The English department can work together. The math department can work together. I can get caught up on grading. I can get caught up on planning. And you can also set up a time if you feel like you need to individually meet with me on a Google Meet. Or if you need to email me just to kind of catch up. And so all Mondays will be used for that. So you will never be expected on any Monday to check in and get your assignments for the week on Monday, because I can't promise you that they'll necessarily be up from your teachers. They probably won't be for me. My life is chaotic here. So my stuff will probably always be posted on Tuesday versus the Monday before that. So your classes in essence are always going to run Tuesday through Fridays. And it will always go B day, A day, B day, A day. So all B days will all take place on Tuesdays and Thursdays. A-days, all of them will always take place on Wednesdays and Fridays, so long as we are doing remote learning. I know that's really bizarre and it's really weird, but we feel like we need to stay consistent, knowing what days are what. So that's the way that we're going to do things. Now, where that gets a little jumbled up and strange is that already next week, we don't have school Friday because it's Good Friday, and you guys have that scheduled off around Easter weekend. And so that Friday, actually, students and teachers will not be doing anything at all that's related to remote learning. Um, and so that kind of jumbles up the schedule. So what's going to be really weird is that on Thursday, you'll have a B day, which is the 9th. And when you come back to remote learning, again, if we are still doing remote learning, you won't come back until the following Tuesday. And that day will be a B day again. So we're skipping that A day. So in that way, it's definitely different. So the 10th, though, and the 13th, you guys will not be expected to do anything on those 2 days. Those are given to you as Easter break, vacation days in essence. Okay. So don't worry about those days at all. And again, all Mondays, all of us teachers will be here to provide support if you need it. But we'll primarily be working on grading and planning. Okay. So now that some of that kind of stuff is out of the way, hopefully it makes sense. For my particular class, what you're going to do on Tuesdays then every week is you're going to get into Canvas. Okay. When you get into Canvas, I will have the homepage is already set. And it will stay this same exact homepage for the duration of however long our remote learning is. That will never change. So what I'm going to do on this homepage is you'll notice week 1 is down here. I have the week 2 written in. And then if it continues, then I would just be adding in additional weeks here with a link to the Google Doc where you will access everything that you need. So everything will be accessible in Canvas from this one single page. Okay. And then I also just kind of put up here on the top this Google Hangout link as well. If you just need a really quick go grab that link ever. That Hangout is particular to our class, and it will remain the same Hangout link for the entirety of the entire duration of our remote learning as well. That link will not change. You can always access Google Hangout from that link. In our particular class, for English 4, as you can see here, is always going to be from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. That does not mean, again, I want to repeat, that does not mean that you have to be on Google Hangout at that time. Okay. I've had so many questions about that. And I totally understand why you have questions about it, because it seems the way that it's set up, looking like a schedule, that you would need to be in class at that time. But you don't, you guys. That time is just being given to you. It's designated as time where teachers are promising that they will be available to you in that scheduled block of time. If you don't have questions about all of the information that's on my Google Doc listing the assignments for the week, you absolutely do not have to be in Google Hangout. It is there in essence as a resource for you. If for some reason I'm giving that particular day in Google Hangout, we go over some really good information. People ask really great questions that I think would be beneficial for everybody. Or maybe I'm doing a lesson in it. I will record them and I will post those links directly on our Canvas page as well under whatever that particular week is. And so most likely what I'll do is I'll just probably record all of the Google Hangouts. And so there will probably be 2 bullet points under each week for each of the 2 days that we will meet every week that will list the recorded Google Hangout so that you can watch it if you feel like you would need to, or I could tell you, hey, go watch this Google Hangout, but just watch maybe minute 11 to minute 18. Maybe that's the only spot that was really important for you to see. So I will put that on there as well. So again, you do not have to be at the Google Hangout. Okay. A couple things about this Google Hangout etiquette stuff. I've got listed up here at the top just a couple, I don't want to call them rules, but they're just guides, etiquette guides of how to act best so that a Google Hangout can actually go well and be effective. And so the two biggest items when you go into a Google Hangout that are important, as I know that you guys can read this on your own, is please make sure that you're muted and that your video component is turned off. Okay, that's just automatically before you press the join button, you should turn those items off. Okay. If you want to turn them on eventually, in particular the video component, you can. Just make sure. A lot of people have gotten into a situation where they didn't realize that their video component was on and were very embarrassed about it later. And I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody. So I just usually go by keep them off. If you have questions, obviously, then you can unmute yourself. I can unmute you. Make sure you're listening, paying attention, that we're not joking around during this whole time because, we all want to get this done and have it be effective so that, you guys can get out and get on with other things. So look over this and check that out, please. Okay, so really quickly, if I'm going to go into, I'm going to press this link, and that link is going to bring me to a Google Doc, and everybody's Google Doc is going to look the exact same for the way that it's set up. The assignments and the weekly tasks might look different or will look different. But this top part here is going to all look the same. So I am going to go through just that part here as well to make sure that everybody is aware of kind of what we all have here. So up at the top, and again, I know this says English 4 and all my AP kids and speech and English 3 kids, you're going to see this, but that's okay. It looks the same as your document. Just kind of gives a little bit of an update here about how this is going to be the Google Doc that I use. I'll change it on a weekly basis. It will be posted every Tuesday. All of your work that's listed here on this is going to be due the following Monday. So this week that we're going into on the 31st, you're going to open this up on the 31st. You will have the entire Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday and Sunday of the weekend, as well as Monday if you need it. Your items are not due until the end of the day on Monday, okay, before we officially start the next week of remote learning, which starts on a Tuesday always, okay? So, which I think that means that this would be due then on the 6th, okay? So that's how due dates are going to work for me. And again, check with your other teachers because they might be doing something different, okay? The biggest and the most important thing is you guys are not supposed to be utilizing more than 60 minutes really to do your work for each individual class. Okay, so on Tuesday, my B-Day kids, you should not spend more than 60 minutes working on English items for that day's tasks, okay? If you get to 60 minutes and you only have one of the two tasks done, then that's okay. Then just roll over task 2 into the next day. And that means since you're meeting with me twice a week, in essence, on Tuesdays and Thursdays for B-Days, that means that in total, you shouldn't really be spending more than a total of 2 hours of work for my English class for the entire week. Okay, so that's a significantly less amount of time than what you would be doing if we were in the regular classroom together. And that's okay. And that's something that we all need to kind of get through our heads as well, is that this is not the same thing as what we have been doing. And we have to just all kind of be okay with that. So when you're thinking, well, we didn't do things like this when we were at school, or she didn't have us do it this way at school and she's having it do us this way now, that doesn't matter. Okay. We're doing things so much differently because the expectations are different, because of the state requirements, because of the fact that a lot of you guys are sitting at home and having to babysit your siblings or younger cousins or nieces or nephews during this time. And you're not able to completely focus on this. Some of you have parents who might be laid off right now. My mom's laid off right now because of all of this. so I get that like things are crazy and stressful and chaotic and really busy right now. And the last thing that we want to do is have the work that you're doing in any of our classes make you even more stressed out. Okay. And I feel like I especially understand that. I am sitting at home here with 3 kids, 1, 4, and 7. And I mean, I will be completely honest with you guys. Yesterday, when we had a staff meeting, well, actually, it was today, just kind of. We had a staff meeting, and in the span of that like hour and a half, I had Theo peed all over my bed. Then the kids took like all of their Pop Tarts that they had for breakfast and crumpled them up and like scattered them all over the bed sheets and the floor as well. And then Theo brought like a chair over to the counter and was getting knives out of my butcher block. And I mean, it was ugly. Okay. It was really ugly. And we're just going to have to be okay with that. So, like, when you're on a Google Hangout with me, honestly, guys, like, it will be wild, I would imagine. There will be times where you're going to think we're like crazy. But I'm like feeding kids every 5 minutes and changing diapers and, trying to stop a war from happening between my 2 oldest kids. And we just have to be flexible with one another. So I guess I'm asking just as much as I want you guys, or I'm trying to be flexible for you guys. I really hope that you will be flexible for me and accommodating and forgiving and try to understand that this is really hard. And I've never had to teach while being home with my kids. And it's very difficult, which is why it's 1:00 in the morning and I'm up doing this right now. Is I haven't been able to really work on this last minute stuff until the kids went to bed. So it's been a long day. So we just need to be open-minded. Okay. So down here, back to this document, contact important info. I've got my email here. You can email me anytime. You guys know that. This is a biggie though, the remind codes. Okay. You guys know I've been sending out numerous announcements through Remind, trying to keep you as updated as I can and being transparent and everything. And there are some of you who have not joined Remind who I cannot reach, and it just makes things difficult. So if you have not joined Remind, I am begging and pleading you, which is this important news section down here, is please join the Remind class. Okay. You're just going to send me a text message to this phone number. And in the text body, all you have to do is type the @ and then each class has its own individual code. So make sure that you're on your page for your class to look and see what your code is. Okay. Please do that for me if you have not. And numerous students have not done that. Office hours, Google Hangout links, that's here as well with the time for your individual class. Okay, then there's 2 sections. These are the last 2 sections that'll be on the Google Doc. There's a weekly task section, and then any class assignments for the week will also be listed here with directions and a link and the assignment name. Okay, for the weekly tasks, this is going to be the same for all of my classes, and this will always be in the weekly tasks. There may be other weekly tasks as well, but this will be the main one that I know will be there every week. So for this one, you're going to click this link here. And again, it is specific to your class. And all you're going to do is on Tuesday, when you go in and you check Canvas and get your information for my class, so not doing this part on Friday, please, if you could do it towards the beginning of the week so I know that you've looked over the information. Okay, I just want you to check in quick. Give me your name, today's the date that you do it. Have you logged into Canvas and read through the doc? Have you looked at the assignments? How is this closure going for you? Do you need me to reach out to you today? And then if there's something on your mind that you have concerns or questions or comments about the assignments, life in general, whatever it is, maybe you're needing something, please write that in here. Okay. If you mark yes that you need me to reach out to you today, I will first attempt to reach out through the Remind app, and then we will go from there. I will try to get to you. You guys know when you send me any text through Remind, I get back to you within less than a minute. So please make sure if you need me, tell me you need me. I can't read your mind through this computer screen. Okay. Um, and I am here for all of you. And I want to support all of you. So don't hesitate. Okay. This will take you less than 1 single minute to complete and to fill out. So I'm asking, please, if you would complete this at the beginning of each of the weeks. Okay. Um, so that's basically it. All of the weekly assignments then are listed below here. And if you go into the link that's given here, that will bring you to another Google Doc where you'll complete the actual assignments directly on that Google Doc. All Google Docs then, some of you will have more than one, some of you will only have one, will then be due at the end of the day on the following Monday on Canvas. You're going to upload those to Canvas, please. It's just the best way to organize things. Otherwise, I am going to get like thousands of emails every single day. Okay, that assignment is not live yet. I will try to get that live tomorrow. If you finish early at any point, by all means, you can turn it in when you have your assignments done. You do not have to wait until Monday to turn in your assignments. Okay, so that's not very quick, but that's a rundown of how things are going to go in my class. I hope that this makes some sense to you guys. Like I said, I don't know if it makes sense. It makes sense in my brain, but God, I have a weird brain, so I mean, it might not make sense to you. Like I said, if there's something I'm missing, maybe that you feel like would help everybody or help you in particular, let me know so I can add it on here. I think I covered all my bases, but again, I don't know. I will be on Google Hangout if you need me for very specific questions, but honestly, I feel like I have made things pretty self-explanatory. You guys know me. I am explicit in my directions, and I feel like I overly explain more than don't explain enough. I really honestly think in my directions, when you actually get into the link in the assignment itself, I really think you guys will be perfectly fine completing things without even having to get into Google Hangout, honestly. Okay. That being said, just I know this is going to be different for all classes. I will do an individual updated information when we're doing our Google Hangouts on some other things that are specific to your class. But for the most part, a lot of us that were working on specific things when we left, we simply cannot just continue forward on a lot of those areas. And I know that for some of you, that's frustrating. For some of you, you might be relieved. It's just not possible. Because I can know that you can only work for 60 minutes twice a week, there's only so much I can do. Knowing how little time that means that we actually have, especially if we get extended closure. It's going to drastically affect how much material I can cover with the little amount of time that I'll have then. So I have to be realistic. For some of you in here, you might feel like I'm not doing enough, or you're getting through things in 30 minutes, and that's okay. I would rather have you be in that dilemma than have it take you 2 hours or 3 hours to do 1 day's worth of tasks for my one single class. That's just not fair to anybody, to your other teachers or to you guys. So if you're feeling like it's not enough, you're going to have to just be okay with that right now. I'm going to obviously still try to challenge you guys and push you, but you're probably going to see a pretty significant drawing back of what we are doing or what we've been doing. As of right now, for this whole week, for AP kids, English 3, English 4 kids, I am pausing any work on No Red Ink right now, because I'm trying to really think about what my plan is there on using that. As you guys know, SAT has been canceled for this year. So that also significantly impacts things. We are still going to be working on argument in English 3, English 4, and we're going to start argument in AP Lang, which is where we would have headed after rhetorical analysis. So I just have to really think about how much time I want to put into No Red Ink when I don't have a lot of time with you guys. So we'll get there. We'll talk about that in your guys' Google Hangouts. And like I said, I'll record them and I will post them to Canvas as well for those of you, especially these first couple that might have some more important information. So, okay, I'm really tired. I can hardly keep my eyeballs open. And tomorrow we start at 9 a.m., or at least I do. You guys don't have to, but I do. I will be on Google Hangout with my 1B kids starting at 9 a.m. If you want to just hop on and say hi, feel free. But otherwise, if everything makes sense when you get onto Canvas and you look at the Google Doc, I would ask that you look at that first before you decide, hey, do I need to really get on Google Hangout? Is this a place I need to be? Does this make the most sense for me? Make that decision once you go through the information and do your weekly check-in, and then make a decision if you want to join up with Google Hangout. It's not going to be a situation where like I'm on at 9 a.m. and it's 9:10 and no one's on, and so I just get off. I will stay on through the whole entire class period. But my screen will probably be dark and I will be muted. So if you get onto Google Hangout, you need to make sure that you like yell or say something or hi right away so that I know that somebody's gotten on. Because I will probably be like making my 4th meal of the day for my kids who are never not hungry at this point. And may not hear you. So just kind of give a scream and I will definitely make my way over to the computer right away and jump on and chat with you if you have questions. Okay. I miss you guys. This is so weird. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But like I said, we are a strong group of people here from Fulton, Illinois. And I think we will be just fine. And I think that you guys are great kids, and I think you're going to be great at this. Have confidence in yourselves that this will be okay. This will be fine. You can get through it. There are going to be a lot of things that are much more difficult in your life later on, and we will all be okay. I just tell myself that every day when I feel really anxious as I'm preparing for all of this and worrying about just the whole, like, getting sick part of it is we're going to be okay. Okay. I'm here for you. Have a good week, you guys. Maybe we'll see you in Google Hangouts. Feel free to email me, shoot me a text on Remind if you need anything. Night.